Lake Deaton family and friends. I'm so glad that you're joining me again on my front porch. Today you've read a couple of Psalms and I'm going to talk about Psalm 27. I hope you enjoyed my little story about when I was a little girl and how I was afraid of the dark. I was terribly afraid of the dark. As a little girl. I was so thankful that my mother did put a nightlight in my room and that she understood my fears, because that helped me not to be like totally scarred as a child from the dark. But my fears actually didn't end when I grew up. Like, I was terribly afraid of a lot of things well into my adulthood, like irrational fears. I was afraid of things I shouldn't be afraid of, and fear kind of ruled my life for a great deal of time, and it probably until I came back to the church. Some of you know my story and some of you don't know my story, but my story involves a lifetime of being in the church, kind of raised in the church, but really not being all in the church, and then a leaving the church because I was angry, and then a coming back to the church. And when I came back to the church, really going all in to the church. So the first part of my life where I really wasn't all in the church, I was afraid of a lot of things, and I think it was because I really didn't trust God at all. I was kind of just going through the motions of religion, and really didn't put any trust, or like possibly really didn't believe what I said I believed, and so I was afraid of a lot of things. But this psalm is a psalm that I could pray now and say, yep, I believe everything in here, and I could, in a time of trouble, I could pray this psalm and rest easy and know that I didn't need to be afraid, or that I don't need to be afraid, because I know that no matter what, bad things are going to happen, but I can put those bad things, I can give those things to God. They're still going to happen, but I worry and fear is not going to do me any good except to cause me heartache. And so it starts out, I love it, the Lord is my light and my salvation, so why shall I be afraid? It's very forward thinking in what our journey is, and it asks the Lord, the thing that I seek the most is to live in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, delighting in the Lord's perfections and meditating in his temple. And so it shows that because the psalmist has a relationship with God and has a hierarchy of the things that are important in that person's life, in the psalmist's life, that all these things of the earth that cause anxiety, that they're important, but that the most important thing is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. And so that's what the psalmist wants to spend the most time doing, and that's the number one priority. And all these other things that we have in our lives to worry about and fear, they come second. And then it spends a good deal of time in the psalm talking about the importance of prayer. And that's how we develop a good, solid relationship with God. And the better your relationship with God, I promise you, the less things you will have to fear. Not the less bad things that are going to happen to you, because trust me, plenty of bad things have happened to me, like even in the last year. But that doesn't, but I've not been afraid. I've not had fear over the things that have happened, I've been very calm about things, because I know where my trust is, and I know where my hope is. And so even though bad things are happening, I know that not to fear, and I know where my hope is, and I know where to trust. And then at the very end, I love verse 14. Verse 14, wait patiently for the Lord. Be brave and courageous. Yes, wait patiently for the Lord. Because sometimes when bad things are happening, or things that you might be tempted to be afraid of, it might seem like God's not doing things fast enough, or that things aren't going your way. But sometimes you have to wait, and you have to wait and be brave and courageous, because sometimes that's what being a Christian is, being brave and courageous, as we trust in the Lord. So that's all I have to say for today. Thank you for joining me on my front porch. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.